Grill Sergeant here. What's up, Grillbillies? Rude. Today we're going to be restoring the 1973 yellow 18-inch Weber Yachtsman. So we're basically going to start from the top all the way bottom and get this thing just dolled up. Now, the cool thing about kettles is they last forever. Just a little TLC you're going to see in this video. We're basically going to turn a kettle that looks like this into this. Boom. All right, guys, let's start the show. I'm gonna remove the top handle, and then we'll basically just go all the way through, remove the legs, triangle, wheels, strip this down as much as I can. Before we take off the handle, I do want to get some basic measurements. There is a bottom piece missing, and we're basically going to make that bottom piece out of scratch, and we're going to redo the top. All right, now I'm going to remove the bottom handle. This should just pop off pretty much with ease. Yep. So we're going to take off the lid, the top grate, the bottom grate. I already took off the ash pan that was connected to the legs. And now we are going to flip her upside down. Oh. Okay. Whoop. One wheel. There we go. Second wheel. All right, we did it. So now we're gonna be diving into woodworking to make the handle. I will post a separate video after I'm done editing this one, basically on the details of how to make your own custom wood handle for your Weber. But the gist of it is basically we're gonna be using wood to make a jig to use this tool, which is a router. It's going to help us make the bottom handle. Safety first, and as Will Smith says, let's get jiggy with it. Oh God, that joke's so lame. I'm so sorry, so sorry. All right. So yeah, this is the whole purpose of this jig, is to basically make this part. And there we go. So that helped put that curve on there. All right, so here is our handle. Man, that's beautiful. All right, let's watch this. Here we go. Look at that. Am I right? I mean, look at that. Look at the difference in color right there. All right, so now we're gonna start with the detail of basically starting with the top lid. And the products that I'm gonna be using, I'm basically just using a very coarse scrubbing pad. I'm gonna be using a degreaser. I will be using a razor blade, basically a scraper. And you're going to want to get, you're gonna use a lot of these for this project. So I did get a 100 pack of razors. We'll probably use maybe 10 or 20 to clean both of the kettles, but these things, it's cheap, it's like $7. And then lastly, we'll basically be using the number 4 steel wool. All right, to start, we're basically going to water down the top and on the inside. I will basically get in here with a kind of like a scrubby pad just to get the initial gunk and stuff. So I'm going to be using a little 5-gallon bucket thing here, and that is to basically help prop it up a little bit, and that's going to help me, you know, just kind of work on the bowl and I'm not working on the floor. Take some degreaser and pour some in there, and that's going to just help start loosening and breaking everything up. You're basically going to take your scraper here, and you're just going to come in. You're basically just going to do this in sections, but basically you're going to come in here and you're just going to start just very lightly. You're just going to come in here, and then what you're doing is you're just scraping away. That isn't going to hurt the kettle, but it definitely is going to come in here, and you just work in sections. So I'll start here. I'm going to just start working down. So here is pretty much this side I did, and then I left pretty much this side. So as you can see, this is pretty much, you know, what's been caked on since the 70s. And on this side, it's pretty much, I mean, it is so smooth right now, just feeling it. Yeah, so here's a comparison, kind of like a before and after. And what I found worked for me is you just start on one side and you basically just scrape down and you just keep on scraping, and it almost, it's almost like it's peeling off as you're scraping it. So you just keep on moving the ball, scrape, scrape, scrape. Now, I don't know about you, but the shine now is insane. And basically just in that same motion, you're just gonna go all the way around, and this will kind of lift up. So now that we got basically the kettle done with the scraper, we are going to put some more degreaser on, and we're going to get our fine steel wool, and we're basically just gonna start scrubbing her down. Bam! So compare that to this. We're gonna do the bowl, and so here's pretty much what we're dealing with in here. Look at all that crud. Start wetting it down. Start from the top. I don't know about you. Gosh dang, what a night and day difference. Now we're gonna basically take our steel wool and just start buffing her down. Beautiful, look at that. So the end result is going to be pretty much this for the legs. I was playing around with a few techniques. I did start out with steel wool, and I was basically rubbing it on. So what I did find, it's going at it at a little bit more coarse angle, but basically finding some 220 grit emery cloth. It cuts the metal, not too hard, but basically it's enough to get, you know, all this grime off. And but it does it pretty quick. So just to give you an example, so let's take this metal, one of these, and so basically you could say start right here, and so that's pretty much real time, and then you can pretty much see where it did. So we're basically at the buffing wheel, and what I'm going to do is basically take a polishing compound, and this is almost like, kind of like, picture like a wax, but for metals. And I'm basically just going to scrape that on. All right, you ready? All right, and there she is. What I've found so far is this triangle is a pain in the A trick I did find was basically taking a cutoff wheel And then they basically sell this wire brush attachment. It strips off everything, rust, paint, the whole 9 yards, and it just gets down to clean, shiny metal. So I'm gonna show you really quick what we're looking at here. So we're gonna turn this on, it's gonna be loud. That's going in there and basically making a nice shine to it. All right, so for the bottom ash catch, what I'm gonna do is basically, hose it off. I'm gonna take a scrub to it and just, get off, as much, dirt and grime as I can get to it. Then I'm going to basically hit it with some lime off. It's coat each side. It does say to wear gloves, so I'll be using gloves. And then I'm basically gonna take steel wool and then just go at it and basically polish this up. Wow. All right, now to complete the restoration, I did order some stuff from Weber. I did want to upgrade the top grate to basically the hinged grate, so if I wanted to add more charcoal. And then the bottom grate was completely beat to heck, and it's so cheap just to replace it. And the wheels basically have the Weber logo on it. I did upgrade the wheels as well. And I got a cover for it because you put so much time, blood, sweat, and tears into a kettle, you got to cover it up. So let's check it out. Check out the goodness. Oh. First thing we got up on her, this fits the 18-inch barbecue. Next we have the bottom grill grate. Oh man, oh man. So here's a little before and after. And this thing is completely rusted out and beat to heck. All right, we also got the hinged top grate. Comparing this to this, it's kind of like, yeah, this with this. And they also give you basically new caps to basically put on the end of your triangle. All right, now it's time for the fun part. We get to take all our restored pieces and then put them back together. The only thing you're gonna need is a hammer, and that basically comes with, when you're putting on the wheel, there's this little end cap, and you basically use a hammer to tap that into place, and that holds it onto the bottom triangle. So, all right, let's get started. Whatever I learn, I like to pass on. So if you have any questions, drop a comment. I'll be sure to answer it. And I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, guys, Grill Sergeant out. Cheers. Move, girl, move. Get out of the way. Come on, go. Come on, go. Oh, get the ball. Okay, where's your toy? Go. Go check it out. Go get it. Grill Sergeant here. What's up, Grillbillies?